Gallo, you've been talking high and mighty about your training all summer long. So what exactly have you been doing?
Well, first things first, lost 22 pounds this offseason. Went from 205 to 183. And mostly it was not eating.
205?
Yeah.
Now, I've seen you without a shirt on in my tape, and you did not look 205.
I can tell you that most of my weight is in my legs.
Oh.
From hockey.
Are you thick?
Tree trunks.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, mostly it entailed not eating after 8 p.m. That really helped me out. Going for runs every other day helps too.
Now, were these suicides or were these just
Mile runs.
mile runs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta build up the stamina for games
Yeah,
where I run
I
more
know.
than a mile. But
You could have built up your stamina for Bechtold's limo, but
I had to walk all the way back to actually say hi to him in that one. It's a huge
that's
limo.
incredible. Now, do you feel that the answers in this interview are going to be persuaded because John and Austin are sitting right next to us?
I have no idea. I just am happy to be in town and ready to play some basketball.
All right. That's good. That's a good PR answer. Your agent must be proud. Do you have an agent?
I don't have an agent.
Can you afford one?
No.
What if I told you that you can call Shenderovich, and Fishman right now?
Well, I'm not here to hear your life story. I'm here for basketball.
It's been a very tumultuous offseason. How do you prepare as a player for a season, especially not knowing that there will be a season?
Well, mostly just working on shooting. Obviously, last season I was very, very not selective at all with my shots. I shot whenever, and they were awful. So I worked on that a little bit, but basically it's just being ready to go whenever. You know, when the word comes out.
Are you a Minuteman?
What?
Are you a Minuteman?
Yes.
Ready on a minute's notice?
Yeah.
Where would you say your best shooting spot is now?
Inside probably is the best.
Well,
but
I know we play
from
inside.
outside. From outside.
You shoot from outside into
I like
the
shooting
inside?
on spaceships. Those are pretty fun. Sometimes I go on an airplane and do it. But other than that, from outside, probably up top, outside is probably my best shooting range.
Okay. We got 4 teams. And I'm not trying to ask you this question to get you in trouble. I know I've made this interview about me because I want people to know who I am. 4 teams. 4 czars. Not owners. Czars. Which one do you want to play for the most?
I would be happy to be on any team. I don't think... I'll fit in on most teams, but I think the Southside Shafters might be absorbed as a league entity at some point this season. Other than that, I would be happy to play for any team. If some team drafts me, they're making a good pick as a guy that will probably hold the team together. But other than that, probably
Hold the team together.
Much. Glue guy.
You're glue.
Glue guy.
Elmer's?
No, I'll do my best out there. I'll give 100%, pump the team up.
Pump the team up.
Yeah.
How about when you walked off the court last year? Are those days over?
Walked off the court last year because my dad called me on the phone. So when my dad calls me at midnight, something's going wrong.
Was something wrong?
Yes.
Okay, we're not going to dig any deeper then. Listen here. The game is tied. It's 10-10. And you need to win by 2. Your team captain says, Gallo, I want you to take the 2-point shot. Are you going to accept the challenge, or are you going to say, I should pass that rock?
Last year, I would have passed the ball. This year, I feel a little bit more confident in shooting, but I probably would still pass the ball, but I will take shots every once in a while. This guy, John Hanna, over here is just hamming it up over there.
Well, John Hanna has some great bifocals on right now. It's very...
They're trifocals. That laugh sounded like Goldberg.
No, Goldberg's?
Oh.
Can you edit that out?
How many years have you played basketball?
It's a good question. You know, I didn't play when I was younger. I played like a little bit, but yeah, you can probably tell.
Gallo, there's all kinds of people that seem to be naysayers. They're haters, some would say, with an 8. How do you silence those critics? I mean, you need to have a good year. Not the tires. I don't care what car you drive. How do you have a good year?
Good season for me would just be contributing as well as I can on a team.
Now, do you mean by bringing the orange slices or on the court?
Of course. That and doing stuff on the court. But I know I'm not going to be relied upon heavily for any team this year. Hopefully, I can get out there and win some games for my team, maybe be the reason the team wins games. But other than that, I'm just excited to play for any team this year.
Oh, Gallo, where do you think you deserve to be drafted?
Hopefully 3rd round. I know you put me close to the 4th round, but I saw that.
And, well, I'm glad.
And
Means you're
hopefully,
motivated now.
late 3rd round is usually where I would put myself.
Okay.
And I saw Mike Zanatakis put me there as well, so I would not be mad at that at all.
Who's on your Mount Rushmore of Kmart Cup teams?
I would say of the 4 teams in the Kmart Cup, the Shopping Baskets, the Southside Shafters, the Blue Light Specials, and the Clearance Racks. Austin Bechtold is a great player.
Yeah.
He won MVP for a reason last
Now
year.
let me ask you this. Last year you guys had a feud, and now you're all buddy-buddy. Does that not sound... Can you understand how that might sound suspicious to the outside ears?
Well, we
He put
hashed
a
it out.
promo on you in
Before
front
the
of a
game.
green screen.
Yeah,
A
I
green
know.
screen, Gallo.
Trust me. And we hashed it out.
You do a green screen. Not a red or a blue screen. A green screen. So tell me.
But he interviewed another player. Another player interviewed him.
This is
Nathan
before
Bryson.
he even showed up. Brysinger was a free agent at that point.
That's true. But we hashed it out over time. No beef on the court.
Let's say this. Who don't you want to play with this season?
You know, I would be honored to play with any player in the league, but Sam Goldberg is the main player. I could not have myself with that distraction on my team this season. And I know that any of the other players I'd probably play with. But Sam Goldberg, just the distraction, and he's saying he's going to win MVP, but he shot maybe 12%
the hell you mean
last
he said
season?
he's point winning MVP?
And I just don't see us fitting together on the same team, you know? And then there's going to be players that probably don't want to play with me as well. Yeah, I'm excited to see just how the season goes, especially with the craziness that happened. You know, it's been a long time since we've been on the court, and just this is a first step in a long season. Like I said to Mike earlier over the phone, first step in a long season for a very good season, and I just think that we've got a lot of good personalities and a lot of bad ones, but I just think that we're going to all come together and mesh together as a good unit this season and play well.
Thank you. No. You're an interesting player to me. You're one of my favorites to watch because you could stop the likes of Greg Sutton,
Yes.
and your defense is you're scrappy. You're a scrapper.
Remember when me and Johanna
Do you work
was
at a
on
junkyard?
fighting court?
No, I don't. I grew up with a younger brother who grew up taller than me, a bit larger than me. So
Grew up tall.
he's the reason I grew up to be scrappy, because he's always trying to start fights and stuff, and I just have to hold my own.
And moving forward, John, I know that you're a very scrappy player. You're like a dog that gets very aggressive and foams at the mouth, even though he's about 6 inches off the ground and he sees a big golden retriever run by and he thinks he's going to do something to him. But unlike that little dog, you can actually do something. I mean, there are concerns about your shot, though. So how do you morph the scrappy bad boy thing into a good basketball shooter thing?
Well, this is gonna probably turn off some of the czars, but I do
Do you
not.
think you would turn them on normally?
Look at me. But
I think that answers your question right there.
I
Give
am
me-
probably defense first, pass second. Shooting is low on
Shooting's
my
like
totem
fifth.
pole.
So you're trying to bring something different, and that's what your appeal is.
Yes,
I
try.
like that. Listen here, John. There's a lot of great czars in this league. Which one would you like to play for the most?
I think that Greg and I have that chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
and I know what he's like as a person, as a player. I don't exactly know what he's like as a czar yet, because obviously we haven't had the chance to meet them since they've been named czars.
Yeah.
But I think that he and I have the greatest chemistry. He'll be able to put me in the position to succeed.
Now, what players would you like to be aligned with?
I think the players that most suit my skill set are players that can get to the open areas. So guys like Connor Lawrence, Jack O'Brien, they know how to get to those areas. They know how to shoot. And then also, there's some players who work together who might not exactly be the stars of the league, guys like Tyler Gallo, but they can fill that role. They can always just put themselves
John
in that
Allen's
spot.
helping
Nick
all the time.
Hederick as well.
Uh-huh.
They're both helpful to be just in the right areas. They know how to facilitate. Just, you know?
Now, John, The Summer League provides a unique opportunity for players like yourself to show how you've developed your game. What can the Czars expect to see before the games begin?
The same
Well, when the
tenacity,
games begin. In the Summer League.
the same tenacity, the same scrappiness that I proved that I showed at the crop. I worked on my passing, not entirely my
Now,
shot.
who did you pass the ball to?
My brother, who I have scrapped with before.
Did
but
you throw it at a wall at any point?
No, I
and have
did
it
not.
come back at you and try to catch it?
No, I did not. I do not have anger management
No,
skills
that's not
like,
anger management. That's
like Tyler
using
Gallo, who
resources.
left the court last year.
Okay.
Them.
Now you're from Rochester.
Yes.
What's it like being in New York?
It's like Pennsylvania, except you have to pay more taxes.
That's interesting because I don't pay my taxes. John, tomorrow,
What happened to my chips?
Today.
I bought?
Summer League.
Today.
It's after midnight, but it's not tomorrow till we wake up. What do you see happening for yourself?
Chips.
For myself, I see myself just going out there, playing the hardest I can, proving to the Czars that I am worthy potentially of the early third round pick. Because Mike had me pegged as the late third round, while you had me picked as the first pick of the fourth round. But I think that I can build myself up to that first pick of the third round, perhaps, up against some guys like Mike Long, who we've seen has had injury troubles before. It'll be interesting to see if those will be chronic or if it's just a one-shot thing. I know how to get into the dirty areas.
Oh my god.
My first question for you is, you were involved obviously in a bit of a Brett Favre situation this offseason. Is he coming back? Is he retiring? But now that you're back, what are you focused on the most this season?
Focused on winning. Focused on winning and making sure the league is run effectively. I think when you look at all of the big names in the Kmart Cup, the Austin Bechtolds, the Connor Lawrences, the Wyatt Fiedlers, the Michael Shuleys, I like to think I'm around their level. I'm not going to say I'm the best one out of that group, but I like to think I can compete with all of them. And, as the season goes on, as I put in work in the gym, the court gym and the family gym.
The court is our home.
The court is our home. I think that I can compete with the best. And there might be my detractors, and they might say things that I don't agree with. But at the end of the day, I haven't given them a reason to shut up yet. And so I hope when the playing starts and, actions speak louder than words.
Is there any player that you wouldn't want to play with this season?
Wouldn't?
Yes.
I mean, there's no. There's some incidents, but I'm not going to pretend I'm an angel out there. I get heated at my teammates. I get heated at the other team.
Certainly saw that last season a little bit.
You can say Mike Shuley, screams at his own team sometimes, but I love Mike Shuley, and I'd love to
Yes,
play
I've seen
alongside him because I know how he plays and he knows how I play.
Right.
And I'm not going to let a guy who's intense and wants to win and be like, oh, I don't want to play with that guy just because, he might hurt my feelings. I'm not like that. I've had some talks with Garrett. I've had some talks with John. I haven't heard from Greg or David Oth, really.
It seems like, some of these teams are just not being as much on social media presence as on the other side. I mean, we've seen...
they might be trying to keep it low key. I don't know.
That's understandable.
But I've heard from two czars, and as long as they're hitting up my phone, I feel good. I mean, whoa, you sound like Tyler Gallo with that laugh.
That's not Tyler Gallo.
Oh, sorry.
That is not Tyler Gallo.
Yeah, you're right. You're much more attractive.
I appreciate it. What has it meant to you to see this league take off?
Growing up, I always made leagues on Madden and made leagues on 2K, and was like, just really enjoyed creating my own world of sports that I felt like I was in control of, and I could make up storylines and all that, and it was really cool.
Heard
to
you
me.
love a good storyline.
I do. And so for it to be a real thing, and it's some of my best friends are involved in it, and they're the people in the league, and we have these storylines going, it's incredible. It makes it that much more personal. And the fact that it's gained a cult following not only in our friend group, but it's breaking off into the people that are involved friend groups, and they're getting invested in it. It's cool. It's cool to create something like that. And even if it doesn't have thousands of views and millions of followers, to know that, we got a sponsorship with Kmart.
If you can get it to Baltimore football levels, then
I mean, it's something. It's something, and it's humbling. It's humbling. You got to remember where you came from.
What does this summer league mean for both the players that are involved and the players that are at home still training?
I mean, the summer league is a very unique mix of players. We've got guys that were average last season. You got stars, and you got guys with a lot to prove. And I think it's going to be interesting because, Tyler Gallo is in, really good shape, I've heard, and he's ready to prove that, he's not a bottom feeder of the league. And I love Gallo, so I don't want to say that he sucks, but I mean, he struggled last year at points. So now
he's been the most critical of himself this
right,
season.
and he's been critical of himself, so I don't feel too bad saying that stuff. And he knows it's nothing, personal. I love the guy. So I think him saying that he's in better shape now, he's been working hard, he's ready to prove himself. That's a great opportunity, the Summer League. John Hanna was able to shut down Greg Sutton last year somehow,
That's
and
something
I still don't
understand.
understand.
Anybody else could do.
And he's so fast. But, the shot wasn't there. So I know he's been working on a shot. So I'm excited to see that. I was retired, and I said, you know what? I want to play. I've bulked up a bit. I've gained some weight. I don't think it was muscle, but I've gained some weight. I've been really working on my shot, and I feel much more confident in it. So I'm excited to see that. Connor's naturally just really good, and so is Austin. And so we're going to see 3 guys that are on different levels, but all have something to prove in their own way, matched up against 2 of the premier players in the league, and mix and matching them. And I think it's going to create a really good bar for the Czars to go off of in terms of how the talent in the league is, and where the other guys that aren't able to make it can kind of gauge and say, okay, here's where we are. But I hate losing. So if we lose a game, no one's going to be more upset than I am, and I'm going to make sure that we contend in the next game and win the next game. And, there might be tough times in the season, but that's not going to get me down. That's going to make me hungrier. And I think you got a guy who has a good basketball IQ, and even if my handles aren't the best, even if my shot's not the most consistent, I think that it's good enough to a point to where I can still contribute, even if I'm having an off night shooting. I think my ball control and my passing and my level of knowing where people should be and who to give it to in what situation are good enough to where I can make up for a bad night shooting.
A couple more things I've got. Another decision. How easy was the decision for you to unretire?
I'll tell you what happened. One day I was laying in bed and I had a dream, and it was the Kmart Cup championship. And it was a very slow raising of the trophy, and I couldn't tell who it was. And then I saw who it was, and the thought of that person winning the championship, well, I didn't even play and try to get in their way, just, it hit me in the chest. And I'm not going to say who it was.
Would you like to elaborate on this person?
I'm not going to say who it was. Just, you need to know that person raising the championship, in my dream, just made me realize that I could run the league and play at the same time. And the very next day, I told my agent, I'm back, baby. And he said, Nick, I'm not your agent, I'm your uncle. Stop telling me that I'm your agent. And I said, okay, dude, whatever you say. And so I had to send it out myself that I was unretiring. I just want to know that when I walk off that court for the last time, they sub me out. You saw Kobe get the applause. You see all the players in their last games check out and get
R.I.P.
thunderous applause. Michael Jordan with the Wizards, which should never have happened, but oh well. You see him get thunderous applause, and I'll know that I did a good job if everyone claps that last time I check off the court.
What are you most looking forward to at this Erie Summer League?
Well, it's great to be with you, and what I'm really looking forward to is just getting back on the court with the guys, having a great time, seeing who got better within the league, who could I work with the most, potentially for a new season. So I'm really looking forward to it. Probably not. No, I mean, there's really nobody that I would not want to play with. There's potentially one guy.
I think I know who that guy is.
I don't think that he's going to be, picked in the range that would be where I think that there's a very good possibility that he could be a top pick.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have to worry about that. Try to make this a war, a rivalry.
I'd like the goons in the back to please stop disrupting the interview.
I've been playing ball and football once a week, 5:30 on Sunday nights. Come out and watch. I'm the commissioner of that.
It's a good league.
Please make sure to
I hear
watch
Tyler Gallo will be making an appearance.
He is making an appearance on Sunday, so make sure to watch out for the box scores. Maybe you can give my team, the Firebirds, some wins. But other than that, I've been playing pretty much every Friday night. with a bunch of my friends from back home, a bunch of them who have played high school basketball. So there's a lot of talent out there, and just trying to improve my skills, trying to get my mid-range to be a little bit more consistent, and trying to shoot the three as well, which I wouldn't say I struggled with, but I do think that in certain spots behind the arc, I do need to improve in.
Now, we saw you be pretty deadly late in games from beyond the arc, though. We got a couple of game winners, in fact, 4 in a row. How much did those, just ending those games on a high note, mean to you?
It meant a lot, and it really boosted my confidence, and it really, as an incoming player, was able to help show people that I can play, being like the new guy in the program and everything like that. Just showing everybody, hey, I'm here, I'm going to be here for a while, and take me seriously.
Now, we've heard you talk to, I've heard through the grapevine that you've talked to Southside Shafters czar David Oth. Is there anything you would like to offer on that situation?
I mean, not really. I've had teams reach out just to see, interest that the interest that I would have in playing for their team, which, I mean, I would think that being the MVP, everybody would want to just be able to talk to me, see what I'm thinking, see what I'm trying to discuss with other people going into the season. David's a good guy. If he decides to pick me number 1 overall, then that's what happens. If not, then I'm sure that somebody else would love to have my services on their team.
Now, I've asked you this question before, but how much of an honor would it be for you to be the first pick in Kmart Cup history?
It would be incredible. It would be a great feeling. It would be something that me working towards would really, I would say, pay off. But at the same time, it would also create a bunch of high expectations, lofty expectations that I would have to be able to fulfill. And without a championship, being the number 1 pick really doesn't mean much.
Yeah, right. And is there any players that you feel like you would mesh with the most on the court? Players that you've developed a camaraderie with, players that you think can fill the role in, especially on a team with the MVP?
I do, but at the same time, I don't want to speculate much on it because I don't know where the draft picks are going to fall. And I also don't want someone to take someone that I want to be a teammate. I don't want a czar to take someone that I want to be my teammate right before my team is able to pick them. So, I don't know how to answer that question.
What do you think you've been approachable this offseason, talking to media at all times. Do you think that just goes well in with your play, just people approaching you to talk to you for, just talking points?
I mean, I do think that, like you said, I am pretty approachable. I will speak to people. I will speak to the media. Now, I will not say, I won't tip my hands on a lot of things. I think that's just natural. Something that you just don't want to do, depending on the subject. But, yeah, I would think that being able to talk to whoever, I'm not going to shun anybody out. You've seen, Wyatt talking much smack to me, but, I'll still respond to him, whatever. So, here we go. Just have fun with it.
Right, and last season, obviously, won the MVP. Being pressed into service a little bit later than some of the other players in the league, just how much did it mean to you to win the most valuable player award?
Right, I missed the first night, and then after that, just come out of the gate with a bang, win 7 in a row, 4 game winners in a row, so that was great. I think just the overall body of work of being ready for the season, getting there, and playing with a bunch of guys I'd never really played with or against before, was a little tough, but figured it out, and I'm happy where we stand.
Right, and